Hi there, Marlena here from mjfengshui.com. Is your home making you sick? Very important subject. A lot of my clients have been coming to me with different ailments and allergies and aches and pains um, for the past couple of weeks here. Been really a lot. And I want to address it right now. Most of us have heard of children that get asthma and they're testing them and all that, and they put them on medicines, right? And I've heard about it, and maybe you have that. It turns out to really be a teddy bear, right? That someone sleeps in their crib or their bed, suddenly that's when, if you look back, that's when it all started. So it could be, an allergen in your home. It doesn't have to be a stuffed animal. I myself, when I was a child, had an allergy to hot air heat. And I was accused of, bringing it on myself, right? I would be asleep and I would get a bloody nose in my sleep. So my parents thought that I was awake and digging at my nose, but I was not. And when they brought me to the doctor back then, he said that I had an ulcer in my nose. And I said, "What's an ulcer?" And he said, "A hole that gets bigger and bigger." Well, as a child, what my mind was saying, the fear that he put in me about having a big hole, in my nose and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, it actually turned out that I had an allergy to hot air heat. All right. So, things in our house can make us sick. But when we look at all of the different things that it could be, all right, with dust mites, you could have a pet allergy to Febreze, which I do. I didn't know why I was coughing and coughing and coughing. And I was using the Febreze stuff to basically wash my floors with here. And, when I realized what it was, I stopped using everything that had that in it, of course. And so that's what we do. So when I work with feng shui and I look at everyone's home and look at what I do, I have to address the different things that it could be. So let me just give you a brief summary here and alert you to what it, could be in your case, depending on what's going on. So if we have a home that isn't supporting us, it really can do havoc to us. So you can, have money problems, relationship problems, or health problems, right? So today we're going to talk about, the health issues that it could be. And, health is a lot of different things. All right. So you don't have to be, really, really sick. You can have, a pain in your back, a tooth problem, different things that can happen. So each room in our home, okay, represents a different zodiac sign. All right, number one, it represents a different person in the family. Okay, um, everyone has their own sectors, all right, that are good for them and not so good for them. All right, every house has different elements and energies, and it has flying stars. Okay, so if you are in a room a lot, and it is one of the rooms that is a bad energetic room, all right, and negative flying stars are there, that can cause it as well, right? If you're sleeping in the wrong spot, right, maybe under beams, okay, causes pressure and headaches and you name it, okay? Um, you know, if your home is out of alignment with the elements that it should be. So here's an example. All right, and I see it a lot of times. Right, one sector of the home, the area of the home, is water element. All right, and another one is fire element. So if you moved into a home and in the fire element area, there's a swimming pool. All right. Think about it. Fire and water do not mix. Okay. So there's one thing. It could be a fireplace, right, where the water element should be. Clash, clash. Okay. So your energy, could go down living in that home if it is out of alignment with feng shui flow and qi. It could be remedied 90% of the time, okay? Um, Other times, you may have to move, right? And that's just the truth of it all. But I'm saying that we can use feng shui cures and the right elements in our home. So if you are in a house, an apartment, it doesn't matter if you're living and renting in someone's home, maybe you have a room there, maybe you're in a hotel, right? You can still use some remedies, right, in place. But you need to know what they are, right? What's going on in you, all right? I know, like, I had a client that she lost her job in 2020. We know why. And when she came to me, she was desperate. And she said, I tried to apply for the same type of job, but there's none. I said, okay. So we sat down and we made a list of what she liked to do, what she's good at, and all that. And we went through everything. And I gave her the best, thing to do. And within a week, she landed a new job. Okay. So she was working with a older female at the lady's home who could basically do most of the care for herself, but she had a couple things, that she needed help with around the home. So this lady said, well, this is nice and I enjoy it and it's easy. And, I can still stay on my same schedule. So after a week or so doing that, she liked it, enjoyed it, getting really good pay. And she reached out to me in a couple weeks and she was like, you won't believe what's happening. I said, what's going on? Uh, she said, well, the lady suddenly had terrible pain in her legs and was unable to move around. So I got her to the car and took her to the doctor that she goes to. And when he assessed her, he said that she would no longer be able to walk around. She would have to be in one of those, electric kind of chairs. And so he ordered one for her and everything. And they set her up in her house with it. And now this woman who was my client taking care of her said, what am I going to do? Her daughter was supposed to show up and, get back to us when she was coming quickly because there was some kind of flood there. Um, and they put the daughter on alert to come take care of the insurance and all that for the mom. And, all that was going on. So in the meantime, when she reached out to me and everything, she said, what am I going to do? I'm waiting for the daughter. I said, what are we waiting for? I stun people sometimes. And I said, let's address it right here, right now. I said, I will guarantee you that there is clutter in this area of the house. I want you to get a compass, go there. She did that. Got back to me in a couple hours. Um, and she said, you're exactly right. I said, now we're going to move that clutter because the insurance company needs it. I guess whatever flooded, they put the stuff somewhere in the home where it should not be. And I said, let's put it in the garage. Okay, until the insurance company gets her. And, whenever the daughter decides that it's important to show up and help, well, there it is. So anyway, she did that and got back to me. This is all in one night now, mind you. And she said, I put it all in there and you won't believe it. I said, yes, I will. What happened? She said, I cleaned it up. I put it where you said. And the lady got up and walked across the room. That'll tell you something right there, everyone. all right, about clutter, number one. All right, so we want to address the clutter in your house. That's a big clue. All right, but we really want to learn what is going on in your home, okay? What exactly is happening in your life, right? So health is very important, right? So in order to get healthy, of course, what do? Right? We start eating, drinking better things, okay? I do believe in, a little bit of dessert. That's just me. I have a, you know, sweet tooth at times where I want a piece of apple pie. It's always something good, nutritional thing, right? If I'm weak, I have Jello. It gives me back some energy, believe it or not. It's got electrolytes in it. So very good for people that maybe have had the flu, a bug, and they can't get their energy back, right? You might have been, afflicted with something like I had for 8 months, some kind of crazy virus that came on me from the atmosphere, believe it or not. Uh, and I had no energy, no physical energy whatsoever. And that's not me. I'm very active. And, it's not fun when you can hardly get up, right, and do what you want to do. Your mind is all there ready to go, and your body is like, I can't. But I made myself every day get up and do a little chore. Every day I do something, all right, and make myself move around. And I felt I accomplished something today, right? So when you step into the energy of your home, all right, what is it saying to you? What room does not feel really good for you, right? What room did you close off, right? What room do you avoid? All right, so that's one of the rooms that probably has a lot of clutter, negative energy of some kind. I'm not there, I don't know. But are you living at the right address for you as well? That's another big issue here. So now that we are in period 9, the fire energy, very strong fire energy. So we have shifted. Also, what happened was the feng shui has shifted. So if you are living in a home and it doesn't, really align with the energy of period 9, well, we have to remedy that in one way or another. So it's always good to know what's happening in our lives, in our home. I see a lot of people that, are sick right now. They might have something like bad sinuses, a chest thing comes on them, a bad cold feeling, all different crazy things, fingers getting hurt, you know, um, different stuff, so it has to do with each area of the home, believe it or not. So your head has to do with one spot in the house, your teeth, right? Your eyes, your heart, your blood pressure, all right, your legs, your hands, okay? If you were constantly having an issue with an area in your life, maybe you never had it before until you moved in there, right? Or suddenly this started happening, right? So we got to look at every issue. Also, we have charts for our lives, okay? And certain times in our life, the energy is changing, right? So you might experience something different in an area in your life that you never had before. It could be positive or negative. You could be having a year where actually you are supposed to be studying instead of going. All right. And I learned that stuff. I listened, I took courses, I studied, I took notes of everything they say, I write it down. I am very detailed and I want to help you. In what way can I help you today? That's my question. All right. Do you have somebody in your family that is sick right now? All right. And, and it's very difficult to deal with or to watch them because they were healthy and all of a sudden they're sick. Do you realize that sometimes under your home there is water? And if you are sleeping and sitting and working on that spot, you are going to have an affliction of some kind. Okay. I heard of many stories. People have to come and douse the house, right? If you don't know what dousing is, you ought to look it up and find it out. If you see ants in your house, that means there's water in that area. Okay. Take a clue here. All right. Ants, they will work on the vibration of water. You know, they are constant go, go, go. All right. They work, work, work. All right. And yeah. So if you see ants, you know that there is water in that area. So I would have it checked out. You may have a leak, and a leak can be in the wall, right? And you will get sick in one way or another. Okay. So we really want to look at what is going on in your life today. You can comment underneath, reach out to me. We can have a one-on-one consultation, which you may need. All right. Or a loved one might need one. And I would love to be supporting of you and see something really amazing happen in your life. I also had a client that lived in a condo. If you know about sharing energy, it is not fun at all, especially for me. I feel all that energy and have to shut it off, right? So I can never live in a condo. All right, no way. All right. The thing is here, he had two dogs, the mother and the pup. Now, when he reached out to me, it was midnight my time. All right. We were 3 hours difference in time. And he started crying on the phone. And he said the older dog, the mother, suddenly took ill. He knew the place was full with negative energy entities. We're going to say entities at this time. It could be spirits. I'll be kind. All right. And he watched the spirits jump onto the animal, and the animal got sick, very sick, and suddenly passed. And then he said to me, I see the same signs on the puppy. And I said, well, let's stop it right now. All right. So I supported him and stopped that, right? Gave him the remedies to use, and immediately there was a stop. The dog started coming back to itself. You know how puppies are. They need to run. They need to play. All right. So the dog was having, a change in its health immediately. And when he went outside the next morning to go to his job, his friend who lived, I think, next door or something like that, said, did you feel that last night? And he said, what do you mean? He said, the energy changed here. Something changed. He said, I can't believe it. I slept through the night. I felt great. And this guy started laughing and said, oh, well, I had a feng shui, consultation last night. And he explained what feng shui was and everything else. And he said, now my dog is back. Right. And I gave him the course that I'm going to link underneath here, just for you people there that want to learn how to set up your home, what elements go where your zodiac is, all this information that I've been talking about, really in a nutshell. You can actually get some of it there. And then if you want to dive deeper, reach out to me on my website, mjfengshui.com, and get a one-on-one consultation, because everyone should have one at least once a year. And that is the truth, right? Because like I said, energy changes. Right now we are in a fire element. And if you are not speeding up, all right, with the energy, you might feel exhausted, drained, all right, not motivated, confused, worried, fearful, right? And that's negative. So we want to remove it. But with that course that I'm going to share with you underneath this video, it also has MP3s that I created to clear energy in your home. All right. And that is what I shared with that man. And his space and his neighbor's space was clear of nasty ghosts. Let's put it that way. Okay. I'll be nice. I'll say ghosts or spirits that do not come from the upper parts of the universe. Okay. All right. So that's the best way to put it here. So if you're new to feng shui, welcome. All right. And I want you to think about how you would rather feel, right? Mentally as well, because sometimes your house can make you mentally ill. And that's the truth. So we want to know where you're sitting, where you're sleeping, where you're working, where your front door is, where your back door is. Different spots in your home have a lot to do with your health, right? Your kitchen, oh yeah, we are going into your kitchen together, okay? Now, if you haven't seen the September Feng Shui Flying Star video, please check that out. There's also a wonderful video for everyone who would like to know the best days for the month to have their hair done. That's up there for you as well. There's so many videos here. I just love to share a variety on my channel. So here you go for everyone that would like to get healthier, right? Yeah, we can all go to the gym and work out, exercise at home. That's great. But where do we exercise? Where's the best place for us? All right, in our home. Not everybody's got the same house. Not everybody has the same layout. Your address is not the same as mine. All right, like I said earlier, are you living in the right house for you, the right address for you and your family members? Okay. How come one person in the house is thriving and feeling great and everybody else is not? We got to address it. So think about it, or vice versa. Or someone's really cranky or miserable and they're taking everybody down. That's, another way of your house is making you sick. Sick of being, tormented. Let's put it that way. So, it's not a fun ride until we remedy it with the right feng shui cure. And let's have that and even more of that. And I am wishing you incredible blessings today. Thank you for joining me here. I'll see you on the next incredible life-changing video. This has been a beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day. Just believe it. Bye for now.